through this invisible normalization. And the task of any intervention, the point of being a living human being is to get out. This is not for I to accept. This is the challenge. Why do we need to literally visualize? Why do we need? Because the because hatred and division is being practiced from the very top, practiced, propagated, hatred from the very. It is not that hatred there are जहां भी अलग अलग misgivings भी होते हैं, prejudices भी होते हैं, stereotypes भी होते हैं. It's simply not the case that I mean, in any society, आप यूनिवर्सिटी में भी होंगे, जहाँ जैसे ही थोड़े से अलग किस्म के लोग आते हैं, stereotyping is normal, one of the most reaction, one of the first reactions of human beings to try and understand differences. जैसा ही कोई डिफरेंस आता है स्टीरियोटाइप, अच्छा ये लोग हैं, अच्छा ये वो यूपी बिहार वाले हैं, ये तो ऐसा ही है, immediately you know वो स्टीरियोटाइप शुरू हो जाता है. That's something you have to do. But when stereotyping turns into prejudice, when this prejudice is weaponized and someone tells you it's all right, not just to laugh at, but actually, okay. Then someone says, just left them. Actually, you can throw them out. So, what we are witnessing now for the last many years, in the last 8 years, because now it's state is one of the worst possible assault on our constitution, on the values of our freedom struggle, and on our civilization. I use three experiments. All three are different. What we are witnessing is an assault on our constitution because the Republic of India was not meant to be a country for a certain kind of the constitution gave a guarantee. The guarantee was no matter what your religion, your caste, your gender, your sexual preference, you are as much Indian as the owner of this country. This was a constitutional guarantee. The essence of that is very much stated in the Indian Constitution. What we are witnessing today is actual rewriting the Constitution. There are two different kinds of rewriting. One is formal, where you say, all right, we amend the Constitution, Parliament passes this. That's the legal part. The other is to change the Constitution effectively. Because remember, for 99 citizens of this country, Constitution is what the SHO says. Your local police thana officer, he is the Constitution of this country. The written Constitution is only for that one person go to courts or Supreme Court and other things. And that de facto real constitution, which is prescribed by the police officer, that is not Go to the police station, you say your name is Suleiman. And this is not only in states where the BJP, this is also true of other states where BJP is not effectively the format. The constitution is important, not merely because it happens to be a constitution like every country in this world. In our case, the constitution is important because the constitution so the essence of the values propagated by our freedom struggle. There is 100 years of conversation that went on in this country about what country. And the constitution, not every single constitution, not the technical details of the constitution, but the core of the constitution, the core values of the constitution are very much product of 100 years of conversation. And that conversation was that we want to have a country that offers liberty, that offers equality, that offers basis of fraternity. We wanted which is ordered in very that is inscribed in the constitution. So what we are witnessing is not merely a violation of the text of the constitution. It is also a violation of the consensus developed over 100 years, which led to the constitution. And more than that, it is also a violation of civilization. We've lived together in this country for some 3,000 years in this recognized form, otherwise maybe 7,000 years or so. We have developed civilizational norms about conflict. That is being ruptured. And this assault is all the more important because this assault comes from sometimes sometimes you can have an assault from below. Some minor fringe group comes and attacks your foundations. These things keep happening. But when the assault begins from the people who hold constitutional offices, that is one of the most dangerous. This is what basically our republic is being this. The Republic of India that was founded 26 January 1950. In my book, I said that Republic is first republic. That republic is meant. And the thing with the thing is that republic has been dismantled by republic. That's the hardest thing to accept and respond. Public has been dismantled. That's a situation. I can go on and on and on about what the situation today is. But my sense is that most of us after we read and my only fear is we read about it so often that I just begin to see, ऐसा तो होता है ये हर बार एक बार जिसके वीडियो दिखा रहे हैं इस देश में हम ये सेंस खत्म नहीं होना चाहिए जिस दिन ये खत्म हो गया उस दिन हम इंसान नहीं जिस दिन हमें बिल्कुल ये छोड़ गया ये नहीं So this is the extraordinary in our republic's life because actually at stake is not just the question of government. That's the usual thing in any you like a government, you don't like it. You can say this government is good, some other government is bad, इसको हटाना है, उसको लाना है. That's the usual stuff. That's not the stake. Stakes are high. The high stakes sometimes are saving democracy, like it was in 1977. In 1977, the stake was not whether Mrs. Gandhi wins the election to be forward. The stakes were whether democracy would survive in this country. I don't know if my friend feels uneasy about it, but one should not economize on truth. The fact is that Congress's defeat in 1977 was an utmost necessity to save democracy. Whether Morarji Desai became the prime minister, or Jagjeevan Ram, or Charan Singh, or Vajpayee, or someone else, George Fernandez, was of no consequence because at stake was the survival. Mrs. Gandhi did come back to power, but the idea that you could impose something like an emergency in this country and get away with it, that was what every ruler, यार ये तो महंगा सौदा है, अगली बार से ये पंगा नहीं. That was a clear message. Today the stakes are even higher. It's not just about a bad government that needs to be confronted. It's not just about saving democracy. It is about saving India. Today, the very existence of India. I say this with a lot of thought and trepidation. क्योंकि हमारे मूवमेंट के लोगों की आदत वो हर अच्छा स्लोगन वक्त से पहले खर्च कर. तो देश बचाओ मैं 1980 से सुन रहा हूँ. तो वो वीडियो वाली आता है तब तक आप इतना बार बोल चुके हैं कि फिर कोई यकीन. But what we face today is it's a crisis that but what is at stake is the very existence of India. And I mean quite literally. Because either we have a secular sense, at least not theocratic, not a regime where legally, constitutionally, the dominance of one community state, at least a state where this does not, in that minimal sense. Either we have a secular or we have no India. This we must learn. So at stake is not just the existence of a secular India. At stake is the existence of India. And that is why, at a critical moment of this time, we need something unusual. We need something extraordinary. We need to deploy different kind of cognitive abilities, moral spectrums. I say this because people like me have been involved with people's movements, as is very well known. I'm a friend of the Communist Party. I can say for myself, my very entry into public life was triggered by 1977 and that absolutely spectacular demonstration of public will. As I was growing up, It was 80s period of Congress dominance. And many of us grew up in an ideology of which effectively was. So when we relate to any political situation, our usual thing is, okay, we want to relate to this situation, but I have experience, I have had these reservations, I've seen them do these things, so on and so forth. All these are in a normal, in an ordinary, but what we face is absolutely extraordinary. And in an extraordinary situation, you cannot possibly use your ordinary steps. I like this, I don't like this. I didn't like what they did 6 years ago. I didn't like this policy. I'm not sure if they would adopt that policy. Usual ordinary situations, but not in extraordinary situations. The only example metaphor that I use all the time is this, that when your house is on fire, you can only recognize two kinds of persons. Those who are walking with a bottle of petrol and those who come with a bucket of water. These are the only two categories. These are the only two relevant categories. And in that situation, you don't say to someone who's bringing a bucket of water, you don't say, word, house is on fire. Anyone who is my friend. I would not say, why bucket, why not the water? Why are you coming with a of water? Why are you coming with this color की bucket, this color is no difference. Just joke. This is the moment that we face now. This is, and what we need is some way of complete alignment of those who want to resist this complete dismantling. All energies need to be. Remember, if you were living in Germany of 1930s, and if someone asked you, what exactly were you doing at that time? You said, well, I was actually opposed to Hitler, but I thought that I didn't like those who were opposing Hitler. They were really not. And at that time, I had fundamental differences about the model of industrialization that we should follow in Germany. What would you say? Was the model of industrialization your principal concern in that? Or were you concerned about what's happening in Germany at that time? You have to make choices. You have to. This is one of the moments where we must try. My priority right now is the dismantling of the and how. This is what brings me and connects me to Jodo. Jodo, Jodo Yatra is a possible instrument. What? Why Yatra? What can Yatra? For me, it's very. When you face an onslaught of this kind, the whole point, the whole mechanism of oppression is to isolate. So today, you live in NCU, which is a nice island, and I know this to you stand up to the RSS BJP, you are alone. अरे पागल सा कोई. You are alone in your colony. You are alone in your family. You are alone in your WhatsApp. fighting like a unit. And this is how oppression captures us by making everyone feel lonely. And therefore, the most effective of those, the first effective step that you need to take is to break the spell of loneliness, is to say, you know, he feels it, he feels it, he feels it, he feels it. Why is it that all four of them were sitting next to each other are feeling lonely? We just hold our hand and say, we are not. At a moment like this, when the principal claim, I mean, if you listen to any television debate, within 5 minutes, no matter what you are discussing, the BJP representative will say, but we won it, but people are with us. No argument, no logic, no nothing. People are with us. We are, people love Mr. Modi, people support us. And at a moment like this, yes, arguments are important. Yes, everything else is important. But above all, demonstrating sheer brute numbers on the ground. Wherever democracy has faced serious challenge, deep challenge, the solution has almost never come from judiciary. The solution does not come from legislature because they are the ones who create the crisis. But in the last instance, problems keep constitutional political crisis. The only response is people on the street. It's always just look at all of you studies on the other. In the last instance, crowds on the street have changed the venue. And this is the moment in our history where we need on the street. We need crowd numbers. We need to see them on the street. We need to see them raising their hands and saying, no, this is not acceptable. I've been Bharat Jodo for the last 1 month for this reason. Here is an attempt to bring numbers on the street to say, no, this vision of India is not acceptable. To say that we want to build a country according to constitutional vision. Can a yatra, can one yatra change? Because whenever you have discussion on television, media, and so on, all the questions are about so what does Congress Party gain out of it? What does Rahul Gandhi gain out of it? Honestly, I couldn't care less. That's not the reason why many of us we are there. Because what can we begin the process of reclaiming of this republic? That is what sucks. Has anything happened in the last 1 month? I think it has. I would not make any outlandish claim that the national mood has shifted. No, that doesn't. In any case, the mainstream media doesn't even show the images. Most of you would be on social media, so you may get to see the images. But those who are dependent on television, they may not even notice that the yatra like this is going on. You have about 20,000 people every day. But people don't even get to see it because the television is hostile. The yatra makes news only on the days that BJP has an objection to something that day because BJP wants it. But there is a subtle shift. At least those who those who feel stifled, They feel that they are not alone. They feel, acha, kuch to kiya. It's after a long that the opposition is not reacting. It is actually those who wish to resist are proactive. After a very, it's after a very long time that BJP IT said has tried to score a goal at least 5 or 6 times and has failed all those 5 times. I mean, it doesn't happen normally. They have a two power कभी t-shirt चलाया कभी कुछ चलाया at least 5 or 6 attempts they seriously made to delay the yatra. None of those attempts worked. And they did not work not because the television was not there to support them, not because the IT cell was short of money or resources or will, but because customers, you know, माल बिका कोशिश पड़ी बिका क्यों नहीं माल somehow it is hard to tame the Padayatra. That is not it. So something is changing. Something is changing when the Sarsang Chalak of the RSS discovers that he needs to speak to welcome. Something is changing when the RSS General Secretary discovers and says in public that there is poverty, unemployment, there is economic inequality. So something is changing. So a change has begun. Is this change perfect? Not at all. Is there a guarantee that this would outsmart, match, outwit the BJP? No. In any case, in politics, anyone who guarantees must be must be free. So no, there is no such guarantee. Can a yatra, the most successful yatra, change this politics of defeat this politics of change? It has to be the kind of hatred that has been injected in that hatred. I'm really, really hoping that some of you sitting in this room, I know all of you have your parents, I know you have your families, and I'm nobody to lecture you. I also looked after my parents. But I'm really hoping that some of you will make this the career of, which is to say, combating this politics. It has to be at least the challenge of next 25 years. Even if Modi regime disappears tomorrow morning, even then you need to work 25, 30 years to deep hatred and these people say on that. So to say that a yatra would erase it, that's nonsensical. Of course, no one yatra can do that. What can a yatra do? A yatra like this can give us a clue. I would say in the last 1 month, it has already given us a clue. It can best give us a foot and yesterday foot to resist what is happening. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is in Karnataka right now. It comes to Telangana. It spends about 2 or 3 days in Andhra Pradesh, and then it's in Telangana for 13 days. Beginning the 1st of October till 4th of November. That's probably it actually comes to I someone to join. I can warn you that in the first instance, it might look to you like the roadshow of a political party. which the substance of it always is. After all, it's a yatra organized around by political party. But keep your eyes open for a little while, and you would see a lot that is something bigger is at stake, something is happening. Do you remember the last time any political leader in this country actually stood up and spoke against Adani or this country? That is being talked about. This kind of rise of crony capitalism is being talked about. So keep your eyes open, listen to it, experience. It's a mela, so you don't need a member. You don't need any mela. Anyone can like it, dislike it, and come out. But uh, do, do join us. Not just the not just the physical yatra called the Bharat Jodo yatra, but every yatra has to be an inner journey. You remember all the saints of this country, Nala, Kabir, they traveled, not because they were tourists, not because they were to adventure, but they thought that journey, traveling, is also a yatra, is also manasya, is also a vichar. So I would like you to join physical walking to yatra. I would also like to join of discovery of it, something that all discover, all of us, all of us recreate this, all of us defend this. And what better? These are very hard times. These are very dark times. But come to think of it, isn't this a privilege? We read about 1942. People not in many of your cases, your parents may not. We read about 1975-77 resistance to emergency. I don't think any of you were born. I was old enough to see things, but young enough not to be. I was 14 years old, 13, 14. And if you ever felt, यार हमें कुछ बड़ा करने का ये सब हमारे लिए कुछ ही नहीं छोड़ा. Mr. Modi has offered you an option. Because here's an opportunity to create the day this yatra began. I was on a television channel. And she went on and on, why. Then after 20 minutes into the interview, I do not want to die. And I do not want to die. Think. I do not want to die with the thought that I did not do what I should have done. At least, he said, does this yatra succeed? I said, I don't know. What can I say on day one? Honestly, can I say this now? After 1 month? I don't know. All I know is that when my grandchildren, or when my next generation asks me, what did you do when people in public images were being displayed, when rapists and murderers were being arrested, what did you do, Uncle G? I want to be able to raise my hand and say, Joe, sir, sir, that much here's an opportunity. Don't we all want to do it?
Mm. Now we will have a question answer session. When you ask and our volunteers will get it. Okay? You have to introduce yourself. Uh, like when we announced that Yadav is coming here, it was always from the audience and everyone that okay, you are an SUI people, and then now you are inviting Yogendra Yadav. So this is the same guy who said that is also the person who told that Congress should die, and Congress is the biggest any political organization. So after that, they came in 2019, uh, so during all those moments, uh, during all those moments, uh, the party was there. But like, what was this? Okay, so Congress organizing this. Why is why did Yogendra Yadav decide that? Okay, first the question from my side, and now like we give the mic to
I'm still not with the part. Fortunately, I'm speaking English. The trouble is that not many people speak English, and it's easy to remember three words than to read. But I'm assuming that in NCU, so may I just suggest to everyone, uh, they had this is the famous why Congress started, some such thing. I really urge all to read one word during it. Uh, I've written another article 2 weeks ago talking about that article. Why did you not say Congress? So the short is if you uh, short response is that in that when I said because I said Mr. Modi is the biggest challenge. You are the single largest political party. Everyone carries the responsibility of taking politics, but Congress must have first response. If you do not, if you cannot even give it a fight, then you must merge ourselves. Leave a head on, leave a